In 2024, Klarna bragged that its new AI assistant was doing the work of 700 customer service agents. 15 months later, it was recruiting humans again. Same CEO, same job. So what broke? The technology or the promise? Start with the brag because the brand was unusually specific. Klarna is a payments company, which means that when something goes wrong with somebody's money, a person has to answer for it, fast and in writing. In February 2024, it published the numbers behind its new AI assistant. First month, 2.3 million conversations in 35 languages, 2/3 of everything its customer service handled. The work of roughly 700 human agents, the company said, done by one system, and the metric that traveled furthest was about time. Average resolution dropped from 11 minutes to under 2, which, if you've ever waited on hold, sounds like heaven. 11 minutes to under 2. Hold on to that number. The entire story is hiding inside it. On those terms, the case looked closed. Klarna's own press release did the math out loud. 700 roles worth of work at a cost heading towards zero. The math was seductive. No sick days, no January salary negotiations. And the industry noticed, then reorganized around the example. Klarna's numbers became everyone else's business case. In April 2025, Shopify's Toby Lütke wrote the doctrine down in an internal memo, then posted the whole thing on X himself. Before asking for more headcount, teams now had to demonstrate why AI couldn't do the work. Demonstrate his word. The burden of proof had flipped from the software to the staff, and a hiring request now arrived with a defense attached. Duolingo went further and gave the doctrine a name. On April 28, 2025, Luis von Ahn told his company it was going to be AI first, and that contractors doing work AI can handle would gradually go. The backlash got loud enough that Duolingo wiped its own TikTok and Instagram. Within a month, von Ahn was clarifying that AI wouldn't replace his employees, but in the moment, the direction of travel felt settled. These were the agent years, 2024 and 2025 wall-to-wall, when every major vendor shipped one. The word agent meant one thing in a vendor demo and something else entirely to a payroll department. The whole pitch compressed into a single sentence. Headcount is now a setting. Executives didn't whisper this. They put it in memos with their names attached. And every one of those memos rested on an assumption nobody had tested at production scale, that the demo would survive contact with the customer. So what did these companies actually believe they were buying? Klarna had made itself the flagship, so Klarna became the test. The scrutiny it had invited arrived right on schedule. Quarter by quarter, the numbers underneath the headline started moving the wrong way. Customer satisfaction sagged on the complex interactions, and complaints climbed. So did repeat contacts, the same customer back again with the same problem. The easy conversations stayed easy. The hard ones started leaking. Fast everywhere, dependable only somewhere. The 2-minute resolutions were real. The question was what exactly they were resolving. In May 2025, Klarna changed course in public. Sebastian Siemiatkowski told Bloomberg the company was recruiting human agents again. So that, his words, there will be always a human if you want. Note the calendar. This was 4 months before Klarna's New York listing, at exactly the moment most companies say nothing at all. He talked anyway. No communications team polishes a sentence like this one. Listen to it. Cost, unfortunately, seems to have been a too predominant evaluation factor. What you end up having is lower quality. Read it again. It isn't an apology for using AI. He isn't saying the machine failed. He's saying the evaluation failed. They measured the price and forgot the product. Keep that distinction close, because the entire correction runs on it. What followed wasn't a purge. Klarna never shut the assistant down. It stayed on the trim, and the job got smaller. AI kept the tier 1 work, the high-volume, low-stakes questions, while humans came back for escalation, exceptions, and judgment. Man versus machine had been the wrong frame all along. This was a routing problem, and routing problems get solved with both. Exactly how many humans came back, nobody outside the company knows. Klarna publishes its wins with more precision than its corrections. That September, Klarna listed on the New York Stock Exchange anyway, and the market didn't punish the honesty. The loudest adopter became the first to publish its correction. That takes nerve. Most corrections in this industry happen quietly, in the footnotes of a quarterly filing. But one honest company is an anecdote. So here's the harder question. Was Klarna the exception or the pattern? The pattern has receipts, and the receipts have sample sizes. In May 2026, the communications company Sinch published a research report with a pointed title, The AI Production Paradox. Its survey asked 2,127 senior decision makers across 10 countries what actually happened after deployment. The fieldwork ran that January and February, the people who signed the checks. 74% of enterprises had rolled back or shut down an AI customer communications agent after deployment. Not because it never launched, because governance failed once it was live. 74%, not paused, rolled back or switched off. 3 enterprises out of 4 hit reverse on something they'd already shipped. And here's the strange part. The companies with the most mature governance programs rolled back the most, 81% of them. Whatever this was, it wasn't one Swedish company having a bad quarter. The wave had a prequel on paper too. In 2025, MIT's NANDA initiative published the report the industry couldn't stop quoting. About 95% of enterprise GenAI pilots showed no measurable profit and loss impact. 95%. Behind it, 150 interviews, a survey of 350 employees, and 300 public deployments. Now, before that number does too much work, it needs its caveat, plainly. In that study, failure means no measured P&L impact. It doesn't mean the software broke. Critics contested the methodology, and the definition genuinely matters, because a pilot can save someone an hour a day and still show nothing on a profit line. So read 95% as a measurement gap, not a graveyard. The number stays, with its asterisk attached. Inside the same report, the texture tells the sharper story. Purchased vendor tools succeeded about 67% of the time. Internal builds, about a third as often. Buying beat building. The biggest measurable returns showed up in the back office. And yet more than half of AI budgets flowed to sales and marketing tools. The money chased whatever demoed well. And underneath the official pilots, something else was quietly working. The report calls it shadow AI, employees using personal chatbots for real work, while the sanctioned pilot stalled in review, which is its own verdict if you think about it. The technology works when a person chooses it. The tools were being used, the deployments were being returned. Meanwhile, don't forget the wave being corrected was real. Through 2026, TechCrunch kept a running list of layoffs where employers cited AI, long and still growing. Real jobs ended on the strength of projections. That's why the rollback matters. The bet was placed with other people's paychecks. So if the pattern is systemic, the question changes shape. Stop asking whether it failed. Ask why it kept failing in the same place. Go back to Klarna's magic number, 11 minutes to under 2. Now ask what it actually measured. A metric is a camera. It points somewhere and everything outside the frame stops existing. This one measured how fast a conversation ended, not whether the problem ended with it. Customers came back. The same issue came back a second time, then a third, and every return visit was invisible to the number on the slide. A repeat contact loops quietly ate the headline win. A fast answer that fails is slower than a slow answer that works. That's mechanism 1. Speed was counted and resolution was assumed. It's the oldest failure in management. The measurable thing replaced the important thing. Mechanism 2 lives out in the edge cases. On routine questions, the agents were genuinely good. The failures clustered where conversations turned complicated or emotional. A frightened customer with a frozen account is a judgment call. The agent kept treating it as a ticket to close. Mechanism 3 is the one MIT kept finding. Generic tools don't learn your workflows or your exceptions. They arrive impressive and they stay generic, however specific your company actually is. The demo was trained on everything. Your company runs on specifics. That's the pilot to production gap in one sentence. The tool never absorbs how this company works, which is also why the same vendor tool could succeed in one company and stall in the next. The difference was never the model. And beneath all three sits the quietest mechanism of all. When the agent is wrong, who do you escalate to? Nobody. The person who owned the exception was the person the system replaced. Companies thought they were buying answers, and answers are cheap at scale. But what they'd removed was accountability. And the judgment layer was the product all along. You can't patch that in a sprint. It's a job description you deleted. 3 mechanisms, 1 shape, speed without resolution, scale without judgment, intelligence without context. The routine majority of the work automated beautifully. The remainder, it turned out, was the job. So what does the correction actually look like? Nothing burst. It got edited, quietly, and at real expense. The equilibrium now emerging has a deliberately boring name: hybrid. Boring is what surviving ideas look like. AI takes the tier 1 volume, humans take the escalations and the judgment calls. And the combination beats either side alone, unhinged and on satisfaction at the same time. That's the detail the memos missed. Klarna's split is becoming the template rather than the exception. It was a routing problem, dressed up as a philosophy. Strip the philosophy away and what remains is an operations diagram. Now watch the memos themselves. The AI-first mandates are getting quiet edits. Duolingo's Von Ahn softened his framing, hard mandates relaxed into hybrid guidance, and the memo, he said later, did not give enough context. Nobody posted a correction notice. Reversals rarely trend. The language just changed, one careful restatement at a time. The vendors adjusted too, in a less honest direction. In June 2025, Gartner's Anushree Verma gave the maneuver its name: agent washing. Ordinary automation relabeled as autonomous agents and priced like the future. Gartner also predicted more than 40% of agentic AI projects would be canceled by the end of 2027. Its analysts counted thousands of vendors claiming agentic products and estimated only about 130 were real. The label was changing faster than the software underneath it. Buyers noticed. The word agent, oversold once, now gets checked at the door. And skepticism in a market is just pricing information arriving late. So watch what buyers do now, not what they announce. They're still buying, they're just reading the invoice first. Zoom all the way out. One number settles whether this was a collapse. In 2026, AI infrastructure spending is still on track for roughly $725 billion. Nobody spends that on a technology they're abandoning. Retreat is the wrong word for what happened. This was price discovery. The market kept the machine and corrected the machine's price. Remember what Siemiatkowski actually said. Cost was the problem he named, not the machine. A year on, the market has finished the evaluation he skipped. The routine work got cheap. The last 20%, the exceptions, the judgment calls, got repriced. Where the price settles, nobody knows yet. The discovery isn't finished. That's what the rollback was. The price tag catching up to the promise. The machine didn't leave. The invoice arrived. And every company reading it is deciding, line by line, what a human is for.